Matt Gannon, Jers, we are back. The PGA Tour season may be behind us, but then it's DP season.
Then it is DP season.
We've got a lot to talk about, as it tends to be. A week goes by, lots of things happen. Some things happen that have never happened before. And as you've said before, it can't happen until it happens. And once it's happened, it's happened. Tommy Fleetwood, PGA Tour winner. Alex Noren, Masters champion again.
He's got two now.
They don't give him away at the Belfry either.
No.
And we have some what I would consider potentially the most concerning news that I've ever heard in my time focused as a takesman in the golf world regarding the Ryder Cup team. So we've got a lot to talk about. And of course, we'll get to Crans. What's the? I usually go crayons, but when I just went to speak and say crayons, I said crons. So do we know?
Honestly, I usually say crayons too, but now that you said crons, I'm all the way in on crons.
I think it might.
Like it sounds correct. Crons Montana.
It feels.
I'm in.
Well, we'll know on Thursday because the announcers obviously over there on the DP will.
I think it is crayons, but I'm gonna say for Vince Eric's, we're gonna call it crons. Sounds way better for us.
I have the Wikipedia page open, so there may be an opportunity during the pod to get the additional name, and I've got some fun facts for you about the event as
all
well.
Of them. All of them. Please.
So get excited for that. But let's start with Tommy Ladd, a man who we've both had experiences with this year and in the past, and usually not joyous occasions for us. I think you thought it was Tommy's week. I think I agreed that Tommy should play really well at East Lake. It makes all of the sense in the world. I didn't think he would win. I don't think I can think he can win. I was okay thinking that. But now, in a similar world to, I think when Xander won at Holla, there has been, as far as I know, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, outside of Rory and Scotty and now Xander, over the last 2 years, no one has won a golf tournament under 20-1. Now Tommy Fleetwood has. It's almost like it had to be this way. He had to win at 14-1. He had to win with 30 men in the field. He had to win when we weren't on him. I don't think he wins. I know you're about to say that you thought he was going to win. I don't think he would have won if you had bet him. I don't think he would have pulled off.
Yeah, you're probably right. And I was pretty fond of Tommy last week. I had every right of betting him. I said it on the pod last week, but obviously not going to go to the chart. No beef. And also shout out the chart. Great season for you guys.
He was on the chart?
Yeah, that's why I didn't bet him. He was on the chart.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he was a popular pick, and I wasn't the only one who was saying that Tommy was going to win last week. Tommy had a good chance to win last week. It was a popular pick, and shout out to everyone who pulled the trigger on Tommy. Went with the without Tommy market for the first time, maybe ever. I don't know if anyone's ever bet in that market. I might have been the first person to ever do that. So, he was there from Friday afternoon till the end of the week. He had another great week on that somewhat positional hit the fairway Bermuda TPC-esque design. And Tommy did his thing and was there from just continuing that great golf from the last few weeks.
It was all very similar because I feel like at Travelers and the St. Jude got off to a good start in the first round. Then Friday makes a move towards the top of the leaderboard, and then Saturday he had been where was he? Did he have the solo lead at the Jude? Where was he after the
going into the final round? Yeah, he was up by 2, I believe.
We can confirm that, but either way, he hit
2. Yeah.
Saturday was usually he'd hit all the fairways at both Travelers and the Jude on Saturday, and then as we all know, Sunday would get off to a shaky start. Then he would surge a little bit in the middle. And then something terrible would happen down the stretch. That didn't happen this time. What were your thoughts watching it? I think he benefited from taking on Pat, who hasn't mixed hard in forever and fell back into standing over the ball for an eternity. Did Scotty gift it to him? Did Scotty feel bad?
We know that could definitely be a possibility, but there was no one who really made that chase. I believe Pat was 2 over through 2, and he birdied 3. and Tommy was just plugging along. I didn't really think if he as long as he got through 15 with a bogey at worst, which is what he did. He didn't get up and down. Just don't rinse it. And there was never a real chance where I thought he was gonna gag it per se. I mean, he went into the water on 15 on Saturday, I believe that was. But outside of that, like he still recovered fine, got away with a double, which happens at that hole. And then I think he made a birdie or two coming in. So Tommy was there the whole time, and I didn't think there was a chance where he didn't feel in control. Unlike the last two times where down the stretch it was like a mess.
I also think, and I agree, like it was kind of, you were waiting, not waiting in the sense that I was hoping something bad happened to Tommy. I was rooting for Tommy. Like I think that was this summer of Tommy, even the hardship that I faced with him at the Travelers, you faced at St. Jude, like I found I was rooting for him. Like there was like, you didn't
It's hard
want.
not to root for Tommy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the vibes were still good. He took it in stride, kept positive vibes.
He
Like
does all the right things always.
wore his heart on his sleeve too. It wasn't like he was losing and was like, nah, like whatever, man, this doesn't matter. Like he was like, yeah, it sucks, but like I'm trying my best. Like what can I do? But I still was waiting for something to go wrong. How could you not be waiting for something to
Always
go
does.
wrong with how it had
Always
been so
does.
far? Pat made that long putt, I think, on like 12 or something like that. But then once Pat fell back, and Pat was never dialed, I would say, in the final round.
No.
We got off to a shaky start. Russ was striping beyond belief, but missed every single putt that he looked at. And then Scotty started to make that charge, but then Scotty hit it in the water and was clearly done at that point. Outside of 15, which was sketchy there for a second when it looked like it was headed left, 16, 17, 18 at East Lake versus 16, 17, 18 at both Travelers and Southwind, a more comfy finishing stretch, I would say.
I agree. I totally agree. There's obviously that 15 is a massive one. It's probably one of the hardest out of all of those courses. But once you get through, you're in control. I know there's those holes at East Lake where if you miss the fairway, like you kind of have, or sorry, at St. Jude, if you miss the fairway, you got to have to chip out because you got to carry water in some scenarios. So that didn't really happen there. And obviously 18 is that par 5. So if you do miss the rough, if you do hit the rough, then you could just dial it back in and make par. But yeah, I agree with that. Got through 15 dry. It did look, especially when I saw it on the tracer, I was like, wow, I thought that was going to kick off that bank on the back and go in. But got lucky. Didn't get up and down, but made bogey and obviously capped it off.
I think the most surprising piece is that he did it with the flat stick. We don't like
flat sticks, man.
If I had told you, because like we said, you were high on Tommy last week and talked about it on the pod. But if I had told you that he was going to lose strokes off the tee and around the green, you wouldn't have seen any world where he won the tournament.
No, yeah, definitely not. The around the green's been a little bit shaky of late too, but the ball striking, the off the tee, the driving accuracy has been insane. But he gets on those runs where he's really, really good with the putter, but nothing like he did last week. Like, that was insane. He was dialed from Thursday to Sunday with the putter.
He was.
How many did he end up gaining on the putting?
So he gained 8.4 putting, and the next closest guy was Burns at 4. So like, it's not just that he gained a lot; it's that he gained like an astronomical amount versus anyone else.
Burns
Which
so good
he's been putting great, and that's the thing. Like, you go look at his stats; like it's an all green Xander situation, with the exception of the off the tee.
It's been up and down.
But like, he's been hitting it so straight. It's in like for weeks on end, just minting fairways. Like when we need to add to the dictionary that minting fairways is Tommy over the last 3 months, because he never misses the fairway. And the interesting thing about Eastlake was like, you didn't gain a lot off the tee by hitting all the fairways because there just wasn't much penalty really. But the top of the leaderboard was once again guys just minting fairways, and Tommy, despite actually losing a touch off the tee, was 4th in the field in accuracy, and that sets you up.
You talked about that with the accuracy over the last, how the accuracy's changed over the last few years with Eastlake. So shout out to you with that course write up, because it proved to be true again.
What are your takes on Eastlake overall? I saw rumors that they will be moving the Tour Championship to be more to a more different site situation. Also, during the broadcast, I think it might have been Faxon just casually dropped that one time the Tour Championship was at Pine.
I saw that, and I forget. They said it was Bobby Jones' first win or something like that, or it was something.
It was
weird.
I think they were talking about Azinger. Hold on, Tour Championship,
Maybe
because
that would be
like
sick.
I know we can't. Well, when I say we can't do that, why can't we do it? Anything.
Yeah,
should be
why could we move the first round of the playoffs every year? But I mean, I guess why? Because it's a FedEx sponsor, it has to be in Memphis, and then Tour Champ is Atlanta. But we should
Dude,
move the playoffs every year.
the OG Tour Championship was serious stuff.
Serious stuff.
Okay, let me just
head to the dictionary.
Well, you just tell me. I'm gonna you tell me which is better. East Lake every year, or what I'm about to describe to you.
Okay.
1988 Pebble.
Okay.
1989 Harbortown.
Okay.
1991 Pine, number 2.
Okay.
1993 Olympic Club. 1995 Southern Hills. And then it starts to go downhill after that. But we were cooking back then.
And I'm sure those venues at the time weren't regular PGA Tour stops. I mean, they probably couldn't have been because they're going
the rest
maybe
of them.
Pebble. But yeah, why not switch it up? Give them a test. It would just make if it wasn't for the new format, if it wasn't for Tommy Fleetwood, the Tour Championship like results and viewing is down every single year. So why not switch the venue up to just make that so much better? More people would watch if it was at a sick course. Obviously, I don't just. It's an easy solution. Such an easy solution.
Yeah, it's just like East Lake is. You can. It.
I don't hate East Lake though. I don't hate East Lake. I'll say that.
I don't hate it. I think it looks better since they did the redesign 2 years ago. Like it looks like it should be tough, but it's never firm enough to actually play in any way like how it should.
It had like that round, I think, last year in 2020 because with the brand new greens. But also, I want to say, shout out Smiley, a true bootsman, a true golfsman. He said these were the purest greens he's ever seen in his life. That is from someone who's seen golf courses. That is surely a statement. So shout out East Lake for the manufacturing of the greens.
So basically the reason Tommy hasn't won yet is because the greens weren't pure enough.
Yeah,
and he's undefeated on the purest greens. So
that shows he's the truest roller of the golf ball.
What is next for Tommy? Well, I know the Ryder Cup and maybe the BMW PGA Championship is what's next for Tommy, and we know how important that will be. But let's say next year, major season. Is this a floodgate situation? Is it not? What happens next year for Tommy?
It's a shame that this had to happen now because a little bit of time off. But if it could have been a floodgate situation if he was parlaying week after week after week, I'm going to monitor the situation. He's still going to be horrendous odds and probably not bet astronomically by people because his odds are going to stay generally the same. But I think this is something to monitor. Maybe he picks up another one in Europe. But I don't say it's floodgates yet because a little bit of time off. Just a little bit too much.
Okay. So
a strong Ryder Cup. I'll say a strong Ryder Cup, but I think you've been on that case for a while too.
Yeah. So the floodgates have been unlocked. The lock has been unlocked, but it hasn't necessarily opened yet. We don't know if it's
they have a temporary cover. Yeah.
And even if it's unlocked, like it could be just have stuck closed so much and it's rusty, like it may not open. But I think that Tommy will mix at the Masters. I don't think he's going to win the Masters. I don't think it's possible Tommy never wins again, but who knows? Who could say? But
I'll
new putting Tommy.
New putting Tommy. Okay. That's pure. People say those greens are pure.
Right. That's my point. The next purest greens at Augusta. He was tied for third in 2024.
I will say his best big, because it's not a major, his best big week will be the Players next year. I think that's serious because remember TPC Tommy. You said that, and he been first round leader there before, played well there before. I'm in on the Players Tommy Fleetwood next year.
Is it 2 years Olympic Club in a couple of years?
I believe so.
That will be Tommy's major win. Olympic Club in 2026 PGA, I believe.
I also think it's hilarious that Keegan's announcing the Ryder Cup at PGA Frisco. Like, I don't know why that has to be the headquarters of like all things golf now, but why announce it there? Is it the headquarters of the PGA? Like,
It's
I don't
the
know.
headquarters of the PGA of America, Frisco.
Wow.
Not even Merido. They could easily do it in Merido.
That would be so funny if he announced it and announced P. Reed onto the team, major champion, 2-time.
And Paul Casey gets honorary spot on.
Just keep striping, Paul Casey.
I'm looking.
He's playing this week.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you think Tommy's win opens the door for guys like Paul Casey and Jordan Smith to overcome the English flushers but who can't win situation?
Almost bet Jordan Smith this week with that exact write-up, but he's still like the same as Tommy Fleetwood. He's just at awful numbers no matter what. I think you can get a 30, but like I still don't want to bet a 30 on him.
I'm trying to get the future PGA venues just to confirm that I can give Tommy his
win.
Oh, I have to wait till 2028. That's fair though. That's actually, I'm glad that it's 2028 because I don't want to get ahead of myself and give out Tommy a major over the next couple of years. 2028 Olympic Club, the first major for Tommy, because obviously he's going to be. I think he's from around where we're headed next year at the Open. At it's not Liverpool. It's
the other one in Liverpool, right?
Yeah. Why we're Linksman? Oh, hold on. I'm getting a call.
I'll look it up. 2026 Open Championship. Open Championship. The 2020 Royal Birkdale.
Royal Birkdale. Yeah. Birkdale. But Tommy's from, where's Tommy? Is Tommy from the south of England?
I think so.
Tommy Fleetwood. Because there was a home game open for Tommy. Yeah, he's from Southport. No, he's from Merseyside. That's near Liverpool. Let's look at the map.
Yeah. You know your UK maps.
I know Liverpool. Great win yesterday. Unbelievable
Great
stuff.
Class.
Hold on. How far is now we're on Southport to
get the maps out. Get the
Royal
destination.
Birkdale is, oh my God. I typed into Google Southport to Royal Birkdale expecting like a train schedule or something. In the AI overview, shout out Gemini. Southport to Royal Birkdale is essentially the same location as Royal Birkdale Golf Club is an iconic venue within the Southport area of Merseyside, England, which is where Tommy is from.
Should we try to get Tommy's house he grew up in as our Airbnb?
Yes.
Yes, we should. That is something we should look into.
So Tommy Fleetwood, home game of Beyond Measure next year at Royal Birkdale. He has no chance. I'll take a stance right now and ahead of time that there's no way that it's too good to be true. This would be like Rory winning at Ports. It's not meant to be. But what a moment that is going to be.
I hope he walks there from his house he grew up in. I really do. I really do.
That is special stuff. But yeah, shout out Tommy. I mean, it was a beautiful moment. Everybody was happy. We always say that something counts in golf if people who don't usually watch golf are texting about it. I got that with Tommy. Everybody was happy to see it. Everybody thought he was going to blow it. To be fair, I was getting texts like, is this actually going to happen? I was like, I'm the last person to ask about what's going to happen.
Don't ask me.
Tommy. But I will say, like, there could be a world where I would have been upset to see Tommy win after what took place at the Travelers.
No, yeah, I agree.
It was insane for you with what took place at FedEx, but at least for me, it was all joy. Even though I will admit I was rooting for Pat until Pat fell off at the beginning. When Pat fell off at the beginning, I was like, not today. I'm good. But when Pat started to mix, I thought it'd be sick if Pat won the Tour Championship out of nothing.
Having them two in the final group was just a hilarious Tour Championship outcome, no matter what came. Like Tommy Fleetwood or Patrick Cantlay winning the entire season. Far funnier than Jon Rahm winning the entire Live season. So I think it was a good, funny result for the PGA Tour this year.
Well, that was going to be my question too. Is I think this is a minority take. I think most people would disagree with this. I prefer the old format because and then people showed what the final format would have been Scotty winning by 1 over Tommy. And who knows, obviously, what happens if they're actually going head to head down the stretch. There's a pretty big gap between them and what would have been third place. But how can it be argued that Tommy versus Scotty? Now, Scotty obviously was closing in down the stretch, but he was never like truly in the lead or truly right there. That to me would have been more sick. You're in on the new format?
I'm in on the new format. I mean, yeah, that would have been cool viewing, but I don't think the regular season winner should get rewarded as a -10 head start for the play. No other sport does that. At least no other American sport. The only sport that does that is European soccer, but they just cut it off there. The table winner is the winner. Does the President's Cup trophy in the NHL get a bye week to the Stanley Cup? No. I think
No, but they do get an advantage. Like, I think that's my issue is that, like, yes,
there's little advantage. Yeah, there's no
there's
advantage.
little advantage in getting to Eastlake. Like, obviously, people at the top winning the Comcast award,
Yeah, they have the money.
they are going to, like, make the tour championship because if you're in the top 10 going to the end of the year. But, like, there being no real benefit in the playoffs at all for being at the top of the whole
The
season.
only answer is match play. That's the only correct answer that could suit both of those scenarios.
Yeah, we're match play guys. We always have been. We always will be. I think some sort of joint stroke play and match play action. But like the argument with match play is always like, oh, in the final round, they won't have as much golf to watch and people won't be in the mix. Like, there was only 2 guys in the back 9 who had any chance
That's
of winning.
the dumbest argument of all time. Because no one watches anyway. It doesn't matter. And more people would definitely watch match play. It's not like it's live match play. Like, that's a different story. This is serious stuff. Would be a great.
Well, okay. How serious? I forgot that it was happening, but how serious was the playoff for the live title between Paul Casey, Bryson, John Rahm, and Tyrrell Hatton? Did you watch? Because I didn't even know it was happening.
I didn't even know it was happening. All I was caught up on was Cam Tringale just winning every single match. Like, I was crunching his numbers. Why isn't he in the Ryder Cup conversation? I wasn't watching any of the live because it was an unserious final week of live.
So 2026 Tour Championship match play Final Four at Cypress Point.
No, at that course in Georgia, Apogee, something like that. That match play course.
Oh, the match play club. But yeah, whatever. Apogee match play club or something like that.
There, have it there. No fans allowed.
YouTube golf streaming only.
Like a Tuesday afternoon when I go on YouTube, I see like Pat Perez walking an empty course with like Ginny Kazuma and Henrik Stenson. What are we doing? But I was watching it. I was.
Who won? Did Legion win?
Legion won, yeah. So what a 2-week run for John Rahm. How much money did he make the past 2 weeks?
But you believe that Tommy's win is more legitimate than Rahm's live win?
Yeah, I do.
I agree. Okay. Well, you mentioned a name, and this is really all that I want to talk about. But we got to obviously give Tommy his due. It would have been a shame not to recognize this moment. What is taking place in the Twitter sphere, in the rumors sphere? You're a scoopsman. You once had the scoop that Rory didn't have his driver, and you forgot to tell us. You also once scooped Joel Damon's caddy leaving. So you're 1 for 2 career when you had scoops. Before we get into it, do you have any Ryder Cup scoops for us? Do you know what's going to happen?
I am very confident that I know the team. Very confident. But not from a scoop perspective, but I think I'm going to I'm dying on this hill that I know the Ryder Cup team. I tweeted it out yesterday, my final opinion. So yeah, I'm going to say that.
And who is that? I did, but who is it for the listeners?
Yeah, let me pull it up real quick. So obviously it is the 6 that qualified. That is, and then 6 that qualified: Scotty, JJ Spawn, Xander, Russ, Harris, Bryson. Those are the top 6. And then the next 6, in my opinion, who will be on the Ryder Cup team. This podcast will probably come out right when the Ryder Cup comes out. So breaking news, maybe in order of points that they've earned, I believe: Justin Thomas, Ben Griffin, Keegan Bradley, Cam Young, Patrick Cantlay, Sam Burns. I'm not saying any of those guys specifically are the last selection for Keegan. I just think those are the final 6. I think Keegan selects himself. I think Ben Griffin makes the team. So maybe the last guy off in that realm would be Colin Morikawa.
Okay. So I agree that should be the team. I said long time ago that if BG wasn't on the team, I was going to be rooting for Europe.
I saw you online shopping already.
I said within the most recent weeks that if he's not on the team, I will root for Europe forever. And I'm a man of my word, first of all. But second of all, I would want to root for Europe forever. If these rumors, NLU claimed that they heard that BG is not going to be on the team, he's going to be the man left out. If that is true, and if by the time, like you said, you're listening to this tomorrow and the teams are out and BG is not on the team, I will happily be rooting for the European Ryder Cup team for the rest of my life. And I was been thinking about it. Like, I hope that BG's on the team. I hope I don't have to do this. I would love to support. I've been a diehard fan of the U.S. Ryder Cup team. Basically,
You've been an
my whole
American
life.
for a while. You've been an American for a while.
I've been as long as Alaska counts as in the U.S. I've been I've been an American since birth. So but with that being said, now that I've had to start thinking about this, I'm like, what is it going to be like to be a man of rooting for Europe? I've always been a man of the DP, obviously a supporter across the P. Yesterday, I was wearing my Liverpool shirt and an Open Championship hat walking the streets of New York. So, like, I have it within me to be a fan of the right. You're wearing the hat, but I don't want to be. I don't want to have to do this, but I will happily root for Europe forever after this because it would make me so disgusted by everything that has to do with the U.S. Ryder Cup team and how we choose who the captain is and how we choose the team, that if BG is not on the team, I started thinking about it. It's like, I actually think I like the guys on the European team better. I could list, if you just took the guys who are going to be on both teams and I had to make a joint team of 12 vibe guys that I enjoy rooting for, I'm almost certain a larger chunk of those would be on the European team anyway.
For sure. No, I totally agree. And I really hope that doesn't happen to you because you've been my friend for a long time. I don't want to see you move to that side of the pond. Like, I know you have some like bank connections out there. You could probably make the move quick. So I hope this doesn't happen. And as a friend of the pod, Ben Griffin, to announce his Ryder Cup case on our podcast. Don't forget that. He announced his Ryder Cup case talking to you and I.
We chuckled at first. And then he changed everybody's lives after that.
Yes. So, and we'll get those clips circulating if tomorrow afternoon, if no matter what, probably because they deserve to be out. But what I was saying is, I don't think those rumors are true. I as much as I want to believe that, I don't think they're true, and I really hope Ben Griffin gets the nod. But what is your? I know the team that I mentioned off is what you want it to be. What are your thoughts? Do you think they're true? Who do you think is going to be the final spot?
I'm concerned with what I'm hearing about BG. I hope that by the time most people are listening to this, these were rumors and that I had to worry for no reason. But I mean, should I be like, where should I move to? Norway, Sweden? Should I start looking at property in Stockholm? Like, where should I set up shop if I have to become a DP?
I was going to say Sweden. Because isn't that where isn't that where Klarna's based out of? Sweden?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
why not?
It's just, it would be everything that's wrong with the entire system and the entire process. I would consider it honestly worse for the game of golf than the creation of LIV. I really would, because I would be more turned off and disgusted by what has happened to this game that we love. If BG is left off the team, I will feel more hurt than when the guys left for LIV. I really will, because at least we can still watch the LIV guys play. They're still golfing. They're still in the majors. BG being shafted for what would be the reason for leaving him off the team? I have yet to see
not in the boys club. That's it.
Exactly. But Keegan just got left out by the boys
club. That's why I don't think it's going to happen. That's why I don't think it's going to happen.
I agree. I think that's why that would be the main reason why I wouldn't believe
this. Is a pre-complaint for us. Like, we're not complaining yet, and because I really don't think it's going to happen. But if so, we have every right to riot and judge Keegan for sure. But what is your Keegan thought? Do you think he's picking himself? I genuinely,
I think he is, and I've said this. I think I said it last pod, that my issue with Keegan is not that Keegan should or shouldn't be on the team. He should be on the team. I think purely on golf ability, put him on the team. But the debate always is well, now he's captain. Can he pick himself? Can he be dual captain and player? Here's what we know about Keegan Bradley. He's good at golf. We know that. That's a fact that is known. We know nothing about his ability to be a good captain. We literally have zero evidence whatsoever. We will find out in a few weeks if he's a good captain or not. But right now, we know nothing. So it's not even a decision. we can choose two things. The thing we know, which is he's good at golf, put him on the team. And then if he can't be captain, or if he can't do captain as well, who cares? Because we don't even know if he's good at it. We could easily replace him at captain, but like we can't build a better golfer tomorrow. I don't even understand the debate at all.
And he's spoke about too, like whether he's playing, whether he's not playing, he's going to lean on his other captains for a lot of stuff. And that's no one's judging him for doing that. That's fine. Go play, talk to the guys, get the right teams out. And I don't think it's as rocket science, as complicated as say what you want about me for diminishing the role of a captain, but I don't think it's that crazy of a job. There's much harder jobs in the world, and I don't think that's one of them. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. We don't even really know. Well, because all the talk is about like how difficult it is to be the captain. I think it has to do with time. Like there's a lot of things you have to do, but the job of picking the golfers to go play golf, seemingly not rocket science, but he will know that he doesn't have the skill if he doesn't pick BG, at which point there'd be no point rooting for the American team, at which point I would root for Europe forever. But for me, the final two spots, because it sounds like Burns is in, like that's the reporting as well. To me, it's 3 for 2 between Colin, CY, and Sam for those final two spots, because I think JT is in, even though I would argue, to me, the first man in of the picks is BG, and the second and third is either Keegan or JT, taking out the fact that Keegan's the captain, but I'm taking that out. I don't think that should factor into the decision whatsoever. If we woke up tomorrow and Keegan couldn't be captain anymore because he was playing, who would be against that? We don't even know if he's good at captain, but we know he's good at golf, so that seems straightforward. And then the 3 that leaves, and then Pat. Like obviously Pat is in due to his track record and the fact that he just played great last week and he didn't play bad this whole season. I think the Pat stuff was overblown. That leaves Sam, CY, and Colin. And Colin,
Sam and CY.
Yeah, and I think that's what it should be. I think if I had, but I don't even feel comfortable. We'll find out tomorrow. I wouldn't say I would bet on that team because I don't trust the process right now based on what we're hearing. Now, if this all turns out to be wrong and Keegan does the right thing and he leaves off someone like Colin, then fuck yeah, Keegan, great choice. All of this is preemptive. This is based on the rumors, and people probably know that I pledged to root for Europe forever. I need to say that I will stand by that, and I'll happily stand by it if this takes place. But if it doesn't, Colin can't chip or putt anymore.
No, I do not think Colin deserves it at all. He's had a bad season. Guys have bad seasons all the time, and guys have bad seasons in Ryder Cup years who go on to be legendary Hall of Fame golfers. It's not the end of the world for Colin. Like, think of Keegan last year. He probably was feeling lower than low. Comes back, wins again, and he's could be the captain and playing captain in his home area of the country. Went to college in New York. Like him and Cam Young first out. Oh my God, the streets of New York. What are they gonna do?
Yeah, I think it would be good for Colin if he didn't make the team. Like, I think he would be better.
Have a nice season next year.
Yeah, my odds of Colin having a good season next year would be higher if he's not on the team than if he is on the team. But I think some of the stuff too, I feel like a vast majority of people are behind BG being on the team. There's not even people in the Twitter sphere arguing against it. I think I'd say almost universally people think BG should be on the team. The stuff that I have seen is like, his Zurich win, for example. Well, Colin played the Zurich with Kurt Kitayama, who won on the PGA Tour later in the year, and they missed the cut. So Colin was in the tournament and could have played well and could have done something nice and didn't. Colin went and tried to snipe a good finish at the Rocket and finished T8, which is fine, but it's not like he's only playing the top events. Like Russell Henley broke Colin, and
did BG beat Colin in 3 or 4 majors this year?
Well, so this is the thing. Like I said, it's not to me between
BG and Colin.
BG and Keegan. But I thought it was just an interesting note. Like I said, I think Keegan should be on the team. I don't think him being captain should factor in whatsoever. BG has 2 major top 10s in his last 3 starts at Quail and at Oak. Keegan Bradley has 2 major top 10s in his last 43 appearances. So how that man could keep off BG would be Very upsetting stuff. I hope he doesn't. I hope I can come on here next week and say, Keegan, let's ride. Let's do it. Let's win at Bethpage. But the fact it's even being rumored is makes me, my stomach's been hurting today. That might be why.
Might be why. Yeah. And we'll see in 24 hours from now. So you'll probably get if you're watching this, you'll know our reactions. You'll know our thoughts immediately. So rock, flag, and eagle. I think we're dialed. I think our team is set in stone. But hopefully I'm not disappointed to come tomorrow. This is a big day. Tomorrow's a big day, a massive wake-up day. We have something to look forward to. Let's get excited.
Tomorrow's an extra big day because not only are the Ryder Cup team announced, and we could have done live reaction. We had live reaction when Keegan got selected as the captain all along. So this goes full circle because at that time we both said, why is Keegan being the captain? And if Keegan wasn't the captain, we wouldn't even be in this situation where he would have to choose between being on the team and not. We'd have to potentially not have one of our best players playing. I digress. But also, I'm going to the U.S. Open tomorrow, Jers, and the U.S. Open tennis is, I've said this before, I truly believe it to my core, the best sporting event that exists, the best sporting event to attend that exists. If you ever get the chance to go, you get the grounds pass. You don't, people make the mistake. I made this mistake my first year. The key is don't get a ticket for the stadiums early in the week. Go like tomorrow, get a grounds pass, and then you can watch top 10 tennis players in the world from like your high school tennis court. You go stand next to a tennis court and you're like literally standing right next to it. The cage is like in between. It's basically like that without the cage, and you're that close. And then later, if you happen to live in New York or the East Coast, then go to like a quarterfinal or something at Arthur Ashe, the big stadium, for the vibes, and sit like really high at the top. You won't be able to like see that well, but the vibes are insane. But being able to watch these players play up close is truly the best. And then it's like a festival. So there's food, drinks. My girlfriend, it's her favorite thing to go to because she actually enjoys going to it. She doesn't care about tennis that much, but she just loves the event.
It's the good vibes. Yeah.
It's the best. And that's also tomorrow. So I'm super excited about that. And having seen the US Open golf, obviously up close for the last few years as well, US Open tennis, big greater than sign, US Open golf when it comes to the event and the vibes.
I mean, you've been on that hill for a long, long time. When does it go until? Like, when's the final day? I'm not saying I'm going to go to the U.S. Open final, but when does it, is there a time I can get up there next, Wednesday or something, like a week from tomorrow?
Yes, next Sunday will be the end. And you could go, the tickets are usually cheaper during the day session. So if you've got nothing to do, then yes, I would get out there. It's a journey for you to get out there from the Jersey Shore out to Queens. But
I'm mobile though. You know that.
You've never been afraid to drive somewhere.
No.
I will also say I'm in the men's side for a quick US Open preview. Like at the end of the day, it's always Carlos and Yannick, or at least it has been for the last few years. It probably will be again. I'm taking a flyer on Zverev. We once sweated Zverev together in the when Soderbergh lost in
the Mid Pines clubhouse.
Mid Pines. I'm going to take a flyer on Zverev. On the women's side, things are already bleak for me. I only picked two players, Madison Keys, who got it done for us at the Australian Open, and Belinda Bencic. And Keys lost in the first round. She made 90 unforced errors in one tennis match.
90? Is that? 90. I didn't even think you can count that high.
No,
90 is insane.
Making 90 unforced errors in a tennis match is a level of unacceptable.
It's beyond, like Shanks.
Yeah. Just hit the ball back over the net in the court. Like if you lose because you make 90 unforced errors, just make 60 unforced errors and if the opponent hits winners past you time and time again, so be it. But she was playing some very average player, and she was just hitting it in the net or hitting it long every single time and refused to. It'd be like if you truly were hitting your driver off the planet
and club down.
You just refuse to club down and you're hitting in the water intentionally every single
hole. Been there.
But tough start there, but we'll keep tabs on the situation, and it's exciting times in the tennis world.
Enjoy that day. That'll be fun.
Okay. So we've talked Tommy. We've talked Ryder Cup. We haven't talked DP Ryder Cup. Let's talk DP Ryder Cup and tie that into the Masters this week, because there was a Masters last week. Do you have something else? You look like you got something.
I was also gonna say that your destination, if you have to move to Europe, could be Crans. Looks legit.
Now we're talking. I don't want it to happen, but the becoming a lifelong Euro and lifelong DP,
There's places out there, as
like
we
I
both know.
wouldn't be the most disappointed. Like I'll be so hurt
Yeah.
if BG's not on the team, but this path it's a win-win for me at this point. Either BG's on the team
Yeah.
and I can stick by
Or
my
move to Europe.
or I move to Europe. So either way, things will be fine. But Rasmus needed a top. It was almost a live situation with Rasmus needing the like T29 or better finish because Sepp couldn't get it. Now Sepp finished like last place. That last week was my worst card ever graded. I had Hideki. My card was only Hideki and Sepp, and they put it second to last and last. But that we talked about it last week. If Nikolai had won, he should have. He had it in his hands and he blew it. Tough one for Vincent. Vincent had runner up also on both tours last week on single Bs with Henley and Nikolai. Oh, he had Wright too, but either way, so tough break for
Ryan should auto runner up.
If Nikolai had won, he would have had a way better season than Rasmus. But Rasmus is in, so shout out to Rasmus. We'll now have had both Hojas on the team. It seems like the rest of the team is set. But do you think Rasmus is deserving based on what he's done to win? Get on the points. It doesn't really make much sense to me.
It's beating Rory at RCD works wonders, and I technically he deserves it because he's in on points, but I think like who's really cracking down and seeing where the points are earned, because we know what the DP World Tour is capable of allocating random points for random events.
Not saying the Asian swing champion
with, and then DVT International Federation points. We don't know where those Rasmus points are really coming from, but I mean, he's a top 20 machine. He had a great start to the PGA Tour season, which is probably where a lot of those points came from.
I don't think that's where they came from, Jers. I agree with you that there should be
some of them had to have.
When I get over to Europe, if I have to move there, I will commence an audit. Switzerland, not necessarily. Like if I move to Crans, Switzerland's not necessarily the most trustworthy place to do an audit. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, so it's possible the points there in Switzerland are being counted questionably. But Rasmus had one top, two top. He had a T16 at the Open. He was T23 at the Truist.
Runner up. We had a good week at Waste, right?
Yeah, T12. But like he didn't even have his top 10 was at the Zurich, and if we're gonna be talking Zurich, then that's where BG won. It's so and also Rasmus and Nikolai. He already defeated Europe.
And also his T10 at the Zurich really wasn't a T10. That should have been like a T15 at best with that 72nd hole.
True. If that drop goes a different way, does it count? But yeah, his points.
If that drop goes a different way, does Rasmus make the Ryder Cup team? That's a true question. If that drop,
all of his points must have come last year on the DP because he obviously beat Rory, which I think was worth infinity points. And then he was T4 at the Andalusia, losing to Julian Guerrier and Jorge Campillo in a playoff. And then he was second at the DP Tour Championship to Rory. And then he was second at the Danish a couple weeks ago. But like Rasmus flashed early on the PGA Tour season, but he didn't really do much. So
no, you're right.
I will say,
did we see how many points he made it by like between 6th and 7th?
It wasn't much.
So truly, the drop at Zurich could have changed everything. Like, not even joking.
People are saying. People are wondering. I think if I do have to move to Europe, one of the things that I will be looking into is how the points work for that second, because there's like 2 sets of points. If I have to switch to the European side, and that would be the area that I would want to like see some improvements. Is the final
a lot of accounting to do.
There's a lot of accounting to do. Swiss banks, who knows how this is working. But he's in. And shout out to Rasmus, shout out to Hoj. It's good for the European team that I don't think both Hojas will be on. We know that wouldn't go well. So you can only have one Hoj. Might as well be Rasmus. It was great to see. He got the call from Luke after the round. He almost blew it in the final round. He almost didn't get the top T29, but he finished strong. And now they're off to the Omega, the European Masters. At Crans, Sierra. I assume it's Sierra.
It is got some facts. Destination. Let's hear them. I cannot wait for this.
Golf was first played at Crans, Montana in the Swiss Alps back in 1905. But at the outbreak of the First World War, the course was abandoned and it wasn't resurrected until 1924. So, first of all, 19 years. The war got in the way. People said, can we even play golf here? Is this even something that can be done? And then it was. And now they not only have the event, they also host a music festival next month because this is a year-round facility. In the winter, we know what it is. Unbelievable. Swiss Alps, skiing,
Yeah.
snowboarding, sledding, just walking around.
Views, hot chocolate.
But in the summer or into the fall is special because we have the event this week, the Masters, the Omega European Masters, the entire continent coming together to give away the Masters.
European Masters.
But there's also another difficult word, Caprices Music Festival, September 19th to the 21st. And it looks spectacular. It doesn't look big. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people there. You got to know someone to be their situation. But I think next year we get over there for the Masters and we stay for the festival.
It's the week after?
It's a few weeks, September 19th. We'd have to stay over there for a few weeks, but there's a video.
I'm on their Instagram page right now at Caprices Festival. I am watching their Instagram right now. It looks absolutely lovely. Very Coachella-esque, if I'm being honest.
It's small, but they probably want it to be small because if too many people knew about this, they would overrun the mountain. It'd be a problem.
It'd be great prep for you heading into Coachella season next year. Get the body loose.
I do need a fall event. I've got.
Speaking of this, I've been meaning to text you. I'm just gonna say this live on the air on the pod for Adam and I's friendship. Saturday, I have to go back to New York. Friend's birthday party, 50+ people. It's Coachella themed. She told me to invite anyone I wanted. So it's back up to New York. Consider it. You can come. It is Coachella themed.
Oh, I thought I have a bunch of wristbands and stuff, including the shout out to Truist right here. I thought I had my Coachella wristband, and I was going to say, well, this is perfect. I'll just put it on and come. But we're meeting up on Friday for some golf. I'm using my 2 ball markers. They're right here. We'll be making a lot of putts, but yeah, I might have to come because I can bring some boots on the ground experience to the event.
It should be live. So run some models and get back to me over the weekend because that's definitely an invite on the table.
A few more. This is shout out to top100golfcourses.com. I've used it many times for when we go across the P for figuring out where we should play. But slowly but surely, Crans sur Sierra grew in popularity, and in 1939, the European Masters was hosted at the club for the first time. But you're probably thinking to yourself, Jersey, you're a man of history. You're thinking, wouldn't World War II have been coming so soon?
Right.
It was. They didn't play again until 1948 because of the war. So it was a start and stop go to get this event to the level it needed to be. But then in 1995, a man you may be familiar with named Seve Ballesteros came by and put his hands on the property. It says Seve was drafted in to tighten up the main course in 1995, and he returned 2 years later to rebuild the greens after 70 years of wear and tear had taken their toll. With its high altitude and crystal clear air, expect to be flattered. The ball travels much further up here in the Alps, and you can be forgiven for thinking you might be able to outdrive Tiger. It's closed and under several feet of snow for half of the year, but the summer playing conditions are perfect. Whatever you do, bring your camera. You'll be hard-pressed to find better scenery anywhere in Europe. That's where the event is this week.
That is amazing. This might be the most historical venue on the earth. Truthfully.
2 wars,
restoration, Sevi's hands, crafted by Sevi's hands from the Alps.
The hands of God first crafted it, and then Sevi came in and with his hands and
With
crafted
his
it a little bit more.
this with Sevi's hands. Wow. Some of the softest hands in the world.
That's right. God created this beautiful landscape, and he waited. He said he wanted people to get a sense of it back in 1905 when golf was first played. But golf wasn't truly played until Sevi got his hands on it as well in 1995. And that is now the modern Crayons and the home of the Omega European Masters. And why don't you? I'm going to be looking, get the list here, but you're a handicaptor of the DP. You know what it takes to succeed. What are the keys at Crayons this week?
Wow, that was quite the introduction to Crowns Montana. But in terms of the golf course, in terms of what I'm personally looking for this week, this is a week in which everyone in the playing field, I think, gets the vibe that they're live. You don't have to be a long hitter. You could look at Alex Bjork. He plays very well here, and the type of golfer that he is, extremely short, hit a ton of fairways, and get hot with the middle irons and wedges. We saw Ludwig pipe fairways, positional and bomb, but then have 100 yards max into every single hole and just get really hot with the wedges. So if you're hitting fairways, you can get hot with the middle irons and the shorter clubs, and you'll have a ton of birdie looks. So that is what I'm looking for at Crayons. What are you looking for? Anything differently?
Well, first of all, I've got another interesting
And
tidbit.
more stats.
In May 2006, Michelle Wie accepted an invitation to play. She shot 78-79 and finished last place.
She's done that a few times before.
This next quote is delicious. This is on the Omega European Masters Wikipedia page. European Tour Executive Director George O'Grady said on September 8th after the tournament that Wie's appearance was, quote, an experiment, and he would need, quote, a lot of persuading before inviting Wie to participate in such an event again, despite record crowds of 9,500. He was
that's someone who gets it. That's someone who gets it.
Not on my watch. Never again.
So
but I think it's interesting because I was looking at the stats over the last few years. No consistency. Like,
yeah, you see like Tristan Lawrence up there.
Yeah, the winners have been Matt Wallace, DP specialist. He beat Alfredo Garcia Heredia in a playoff. If Alfredo had won here, we maybe would be looking at strokes gained Spain, strokes gained Sevi as a potential angle. Ludwig, as you said, beat Alexander Bjork, the most positional golfer of all time. What happened to Bjork? He
got old.
He was a stalwart for the Viking Cup team. And he's not anymore. Before
Matt
that,
Fitz blew it.
Matt Fitz blew it too. Thriston Lawrence, shout out Thristy. Rasmus won here, beat Bernd Wiesberger, positional merchant. In 2019, Sebastian Soderberg won this event.
On the card this week, 90-1.
Beat Rory in a playoff. Oh my God. The 2019 playoff at the Omega was 5-man playoff. Sebastian Soderberg, Lorenzo Gagli, Andres Romero, Kalle Samuja, and a guy by the name of Rory McIlroy.
Do you think Soderberg talks about that a lot? That he won a Masters before Rory and beat Rory at the Masters?
He should.
He has to.
If he's not, we should talk to him, and that would boost his confidence to remember that.
Confidence. Yeah, I mean, he's back there this week. Hopefully that gets the juices flowing.
Scott Hend was twice a runner-up to Norn and Matt Fitz. Danny Willett won here. David Lipsky, 2014, JDC comp. Shout out Lipsky. Sony comp, YLA. That's the comp.
Positional.
Thomas Bourne, 2-time winner, Viking Cup. Richie Ramsey won here. Miguel Angel Jimenez. Some big-name players have won this event. So for me, it's like it's not as much about the stats. Like, I don't necessarily, you can't be like a drive it off the P bomber. That's the only style of player that I would say I'm out on.
How did Erasmus win here?
Don't know.
He didn't know his capabilities at the moment, probably.
He didn't know
Nikolai's got no chance.
He didn't know what he was. And he had saw Soderberg won and he knew Viking Cup there was an angle. And they didn't play the Cup year. So but for me, it's kind of any style of play, honestly. Like, I think it's got to be a name. I think we saw that the last 2 weeks because the DP outside of the top, the Marco Penges, the Chris Writons of the DP this year, not a lot of depth. We don't have a lot of depth on the DP this year outside the top players. And I think these last few weeks as some better fields have developed, like we saw in the Danish, it was Marco and Rasmus were kind of ahead the whole time. This most recent week, it was Nikolai Noren. Your boy, were you upset that Kabori almost won and you weren't on him? I know you're a fan. It was great to see, though.
Brendan, our old intern, was on Kabori, and so was Riss was on Kabori. Made that crazy charge late on Sunday, and I was getting texts. Kabori, I don't even know where. I think I was like sleeping, and Kabori, my phone was blowing up with Kabori, so I knew something crazy was going on. Because I wasn't watching. Because did you see the coverage? Was jacked up?
It was. I was watching because I had woken up and I knew Vince had Nikolai in the mix, and I was like, let's see. And obviously, I'm a Nikolai guy. I would love to see Nikolai
support your friend Vince.
Yeah, and then I would love Nikolai, so I want to see him get the job done. So I was watching the back nine, and then all of a sudden it said it's cutting over to streaming, and I was like, why? And it was so we could do a pregame show for the Tour Championship. And then when I went to go switch to streaming, anytime you have to switch to streaming, you got to reconnect your TV provider. It became a hassle. It was very frustrating, I will say. Very disappointed to see the DP treated like that for a Masters. What are we doing?
For Masters, and when I looked on Thursday, because it wasn't on Thursday morning, unless I was like wrong. It was on really early or something. I was looking for the coverage, and I like on the DP World Tour website, it said Sky Sports. So I knew something crazy was happening on the weekend, and clearly that did happen. I was definitely upset with the. I don't know about this week. If they're disrespecting Kranz, you have some DP World Tour connects. Make a call.
Well, by tomorrow, I might be so loyally committed to Europe and the DP
this
that
is a big 24 hours. 24 hours.
My entire life is being like
truly.
I thought, that I would be someone who's passing down the love of the Ryder Cup to my son, for example, one day. Now I'll be passing down a love of the Ryder Cup for the European team to my son, potentially, if this happens. So these next 24 hours are truly, truly massive. Who do you have your eyes on? Like I said, I think for me in Crayons, I'm looking at somebody. I might single bullet. I'm not afraid to shoot something in the 15 to 25 single bullet range, just because I think I don't see the Todd Clements or the Eddie Pepperalls or the Marcus Armitage winning this event. I think they could play well, but I think with a top of the board of Matt Fitz, Noren, Rye, Nikolai, Marco, Rasmus, other Rasmus, Wallace, Windy C, Paul Casey, Jordan Smith, Hao Tung, generational flusher, your flusher's favorite flusher, John Parry. One of these guys, Thurston Lawrence, Steve Balamaki, Eric Van Rooyen, Praj. I think the winners amongst the top of the board this week. And
I honestly agree with you. And I probably should listen to you. I haven't bet above 30-1 on DP World Tour this year. I'm gonna go with Chieta again. He had a great first round and a great final round. Is a golf course that makes sense for what I am looking for him. And also I'm gonna go with Matteo Manacero, who can pop for a win or a top 5 randomly anytime. And he's been having a nice little resurgence the last 2 years. Kind of been bleak of late, but this is a golf course where I think Matteo should feel confident, hit a ton of fairways, and get hot with those short irons. Because when Matteo's hot, he's hot, and everyone knows it. So I'm gonna go with those two.
Everybody knows it. I actually have one stat that I forgot to mention that I'm going to be using this week. Wow, actually, it's even a better stat than I thought. Let me just confirm something right now. Okay. Going back to at least 2018 and potentially longer. I don't have the time to look further back. The winners at Crayons, all coming off top 10 finishes the week before.
Wow.
Last year, an 8th place finish at the Betfred for Matt Wallace. The year before that, a 4th place finish for Ludd at the Czech Masters. The year before that, a T8 for Thirsty Law at the Masters, the Czech Masters. The year before that, Rasmus a T3 at the Kazoo Classic.
Who could forget that one? That was a big one.
I think that was in London. Okay. The year before that, Sebastian Soderberg off a T5 at the Scandinavian Invitational, and the year before that, Matt Fitz off a T7 in Denmark. So we need top. Keta was top 10, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was T8 last week.
Oh, he was 4th. So there you go.
All right, squad ride.
So your options, if you're betting at the Omega European Masters at Crans, which if you're not, I don't know what you're doing. The top 10 finishers coming off of last week: Norin, Kabori, Nikolai, Kajeta, Andy Sullivan, Matt Fitz, Marco, Alex Fitz, Marcel Siem, Julian
Alex
Gary.
Fitz has unbelievable history here.
He's good here. He mixed that year, the Ludwig one. Julian Guerrier. This might be my play actually. How Tung's the other one, and then this final guy, if he has it slotted, Dan Brown.
Oh, well, everyone knows that. If Dan Brown has it slotted, he could win anywhere in the world. If Dan Brown has it slotted and he tells Luke Donald, what is Luke Donald going to say?
Luke Donald would have to have him on the team. If Dan Brown shows up at Bethpage the day before the Ryder Cup and says it's slotted.
Luke, come here. Watch me on the range real quick. Do you see where my arms are right now?
If Dan Brown has it slotted, he's the biggest snub. Of all the things that we've said, if Dan Brown tells Luke Donald that he has it slotted, that would be a bigger snub than Keegan keeping BG off. Jers, it's been tremendous chatting today. We didn't know if we were going to pot or not, because when the tour season ends, but we've done an hour because there's lots of things to talk about. If there's things to talk about and people want to listen, we'll talk about it, and we'll talk about it. I'll see you on Friday for some golf. And as always, shout out to the listeners, shout out to the Discord folks, shout out to everyone who supported in any way, shape, or form. We've got some new shirts, some year-end shirts. Maybe you hit on that before we sign off here. But as always, so much thanks that we get to do this. We get to just give takes, be takes, and we can't do it without all the support. So thank you so much. And the shirts, give a shout out to the shirts.
Yeah, shout out Kohler once again. Unbelievable shirts. I told you we had a little surprise, little Boots World Tour, all the destinations that me/Adam went to this year. It's very unique little design. I did not really know what he was going to cook, but Boots World Tour 2025. Our step stats are on there. Some Vincent quotes are on there. So head to the site. Black and Carolina blue, little pink in there. Vinceric's colors. They're sleek. Vinceric's Boots World Tour up with the pocket tee, pocket heart logo. So yeah, go check it out and support us. That would be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you guys for the year.
I haven't even told you this, but when you tweeted about the shirts, I hadn't told my girlfriend. I got a text from my girlfriend saying I want one.
There you go. If the ladies like them, what else could you ask for?
That's all we can ask for. Cheers. I'll see you on Friday.
Peace out.